Hello there, and welcome to the first episode of my Let's Play for the game Metal Gear Solid 4. It's the first Metal Gear game to come out for the PlayStation 3, and is probably one of the best ones in the series, because it manages to wrap up all the bizarre-ass storylines that the first 3 Metal Gear Solid games tying it all to the Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 games. It's a daunting task, but they somehow managed to pull it off pretty well, all the while making it fun and making it look pretty damn awesome. This first episode is going to have a whole lot of cutscenes. I'm not going to be able to get through all of them and then hit a whole lot of gameplay, so there's not going to be a whole hell of a lot of talking in this episode once the game gets going. Dolby! Whoa. This is the Arlington National Cemetery. This is where we had ended Metal Gear Solid 3, where Big Boss had gone up and seen visiting the grave of the boss, his former mentor that he had to kill. Now, Snake is here. We're not really going to see what he's looking at until the end of the game, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. He's going to visit Big Boss, his father, who he had killed back in Metal Gear 2. Now, I really don't think either of their bodies are buried in Arlington National Cemetery, because did they even retrieve the bodies or anything like that? But whatever, that's where he is. Now you'll see here, yeah, maybe a little hard to see him right now because he's a little far away, but I'm doing this in HD, so if you're in full screen, you can probably see it pretty well. But Snake has gotten quite a bit older. Now, before this game was coming out, while they were going and showing a lot of trailers and screenshots for it, they had shown the old Snake and everything was all futuristic looking. So I had come to the conclusion that the game was just taking place like maybe 20 years in the future or so, or 20 years further in the future than Metal Gear Solid 2 was. Whereas in Metal Gear Solid 2 took place, I guess, in 2009. Don't quote me on that. This game, on the other hand, takes place in 2014. And seeing as this is February of 2013 when I'm making this video, it's not really that far in the future. And you're going to see a lot of technology that doesn't actually exist. And again, it's not terribly uncommon in the Metal Gear series, but it's a little... It may put you off to see such bizarre machines and technology and stuff running around the battlefield. Snake's playing with his gun in the middle of a graveyard. What are you doing, bro? Oh, dude, what? No. No, dude, no. Well, anyway, let's get this thing started. No point in waiting any longer. It's going to try and replay all the title screens. We're going to go right through that. We're going to go start a new game. This game, you had to... let's go normal. This game had this really odd feature, or necessary feature, where you had to install the game, but not install the entire thing when the game was first released. Also, it had these weird videos here. I'm going to talk over these people. They're not very important. You had the ability to go and switch between these different channels and watch the different kind of TV shows that, I guess, this bizarre world that the world of the Metal Gear series had warped into, where everybody's...
You mean in high school?
It's kind of weird. If you sit down and watch these things, weird exercise videos, weird cooking videos. It's really weird. There's a Komodo dragon over there. It's insane.
You can tell us.
I guess it's just supposed to give you a weird look into the society. It's all you ever really see is a battlefield. But anyway, the game had to be installed. But originally, when you first put the game in, it would install 8 minutes. I guess it was installing somewhere around 8 gigabytes of data.
What do you mean?
Why are you
And that
here?
would use cached data on the hard disk to load the game.
No, David
So
Hayter.
it wouldn't take freaking
Why?
ever, because there was a lot of stuff I had to load.
Wearing
And the
an
Blu-ray
eye
disc
patch.
wasn't quite fast enough.
Oh, the eye
And then
patch.
after you completed each level,
This
it
is
would
pretty
swap
cool,
out
actually. Gives me
a couple of
real-time
gigabytes, 2 or 3
information
gigabytes of that data,
you know, weather, traffic
with
reports,
other data.
Actually, watching a baseball game as we.
So it would pull out that data and it would pull new data, the specific stuff
What
of the next
drives you?
level.
What are your dreams?
But about 6 months ago or so, they went and released a
I'd have to
patch
say
for
my
this
dream
game,
project.
where it was
Your
possible to
dreams
install the
drive
entire
you.
game all in one shot, or have a cumulative install in each level you reach. It takes up more space on a hard drive, but the PlayStation 3 hard disks that are released nowadays are much bigger than the original ones, which could be as little as 20 gigabytes. So it's, even though it's taking up like 20 gigs on my hard disk, it's not that big of a deal. Plus, I don't really feel like going through the install process after every level. Now, this is a commercial for a private military corporation, and that's one of the things you're going to see as a big deal in this game. But the private military corporations have basically increased in size and become really powerful forces in the world, not just a bunch of sort of private police forces. They've become basically the driving force of the economy of the world, but you're going to see that in a few minutes. Let's get this thing going.
has changed. It's no longer about nations, ideologies, or ethnicity. It's an endless series of proxy battles fought by mercenaries and machines. War and its consumption of life has become a well-oiled machine. War's changed. ID-tagged soldiers carry ID-tagged weapons, use ID-tagged gear. Nanomachines inside their bodies enhance and regulate their abilities. Genetic control, information control, emotion control, battlefield control. Everything's monitored and kept under control. War has changed. The age of deterrence has become the age of control. All in the name of averting catastrophe from weapons of mass destruction. And he who controls the battlefield controls history. War has changed. When the battlefield is under total control, war becomes routine.
This is showing a very different view of war that the earlier Metal Gears did not show. In the earlier games, it was for the most part just Snake or one unfortunate circumstance, Raiden, sneaking into a place and basically doing these covert operations where he hides around, snaps people's necks and all that. What we're seeing here is just this brutal slaughter of these guys armed with AK-102s charging almost without organization after these well-organized, well-trained, well-armed private military guys, and just getting cut down by machine gun fire. And it's a very different view of what war is, probably a more realistic view than what we've seen in the earlier games.
To make a weapon available for use.
Okay, we're gonna go. Unlike in the earlier games, any weapon that you pick up can be used by Snake under certain circumstances. Also, Snake can walk while aiming his gun. He can do. The control is has really been enhanced.
Don't forget.
Sneaking around like usual. Oh! Ah, it's gotta hurt. Yeah, they got one. Oh, didn't say.
Hit him hard!
What the hell was that?
What?
Some weird sounds going on in the background. What the hell? It's like a little Metal Gear. Run, fool, run! It's a bunch of them. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work for you, bud. Snake gun wasn't nothing to do with that. Now we're getting control again. It almost seamlessly moves from, or in fact sometimes does move seamlessly
And try not to run into any gecko along the way.
between the cutscenes and the gameplay. Now we're gonna have to sneak around these things. We don't really have any weapons that can take out the geckos. Just run. They'll get in the way. Stay out of it. Just if they jump in your way, get out of the fucking way. Sweet, we made it. Take time to relax there, Snake. No big deal. Wait a second. That can't be good. Ah, shit. These things are agile. Whoa! Look at that new suit he's got. He does look like shit. hiding somewhere. Oh, box. Huh, found a cigarette. Because after all, nobody smokes. I guess it's lit. I guess you couldn't expect the box trick to work forever. That's a waste of perfectly good melon. Just gave up and left. Like, the hell with this. We're out of here. Not worth it. That's awesome. Nah. What Snake is doing is checking the gun for traps. It wasn't uncommon for a firearm to be left on the ground during, say, Vietnam. And it was rigged to a bomb, so when someone picked it up, it would explode. And he was just making sure it wasn't some trick. Well, he's got himself another AK, and I'm going to bring the episode to a close. Thanks for watching. Next one, we'll get a little more gameplay in.